So this is President-elect Trump's new senior director for counterterrorism. And here he is being interviewed about the Israeli-Arab conflict. You know what? Just have a watch.
Why can't you talk about genocide in Gaza? And is that the same with all of the Trump?
Because there isn't any genocide in Gaza. There is no such thing as Palestine. Do you know what the etymology of the word Palestinian is? It was a name invented by the Roman Empire.
Yeah, the problem is it's impartial interlocutor. You know that is not shared by the rest of the world. The rest of the world disagrees with you, so you're going to be you're going to be again.
I'm glad you talk for the rest of the world. I'm glad you talk for the rest of the world. You mentioned the word hubris.
It's the United Nations General Assembly resolution.
My God! Oh, the United Nations that sends people in blue helmets to rape little girls in Africa. Why did I not listen to the United Nations? What a clown show, really? As far as I'm concerned, the United Nations could be pushed into the Hudson, okay? What have they done to solve anything of late except create child prostitution rackets in Africa?
Finally, what do you think of the UN pick? What do you think of the US?
You really represent the world. The world has this opinion. Who are you to say you represent
We'll
the
have
voice
to
of
get
the
you
world?
on again to talk more about the cabinet positions.
Who are you? Really? Unbelievable.
This is so brilliant. Oh, it's so brilliant. I'll tell you why I love this. Because this is someone who is prepared to say hard truths to a world, or at least worldly institutions, that are utterly delusional and convince the world of certain realities. You know, he says, well, the Palestinian thing, it's a made-up national identity. And it actually originates, the word Palestine was created by, ready for this irony, a white European colonialist. Hadrian, the Roman emperor, created the name Palestine to sever the Jewish connection to the land thousands of years ago. And people like him say, this anchor, they say, well, you know, that's absurd, you can't say that and that. Well, no, it's actually the truth. And he said, well, you know that Palestinians consider themselves to be a distinct people. Actually, if you actually listen to the leaders of the Palestinians from their early years to up until today, they've been clear they consider themselves an inseparable part of the Arab nation and Arab people. That's in the PLO Charter. That's in one of their first clauses. We consider ourselves an inseparable part of the Arab nation. Word for word, that's what it says. And so the Palestinian nation and notion is just created to undermine Israel. The flag, everything. They're open about that. Because had the Arabs won in 48, they would have all conquered parts of the land. There'd be no Palestinian nation. And when Egypt controlled Gaza and Jordan controlled the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, there was no big uprising saying we want Palestinian self-determination from them. And so they sit there in their comfy studios saying, how can you say that? Because the lies have penetrated so far. But someone like Gorka has the confidence to stand up and say the truth. And it's amazing. When you do it, it has a certain power. People are so scared because there are these norms that we've all been pressured, intimidated into abiding by. These lies we've been pressured into accepting. But when you have the confidence to actually say the emperor's got no clothes, it has an effect. And we feel it. And I lament the fact that so many of the great institutions in the world today, whether it's the international law institutions of the UN or the ICC and the ICJ, or the media and celebrity culture and Ivy League colleges, are so delusional. So it does take confidence to speak the truth. But when you do, it can really have a big ripple effect. So we need that kind of confidence to state the truth. The truth is not always democratic. Sometimes the majority of people can believe wrong things, and the minority can be correct. This actually has been the Jewish people's message from our inception. Because if you would have spoken to Abraham 3,000 years ago, and we'd have seen him bringing this notion of ethical monotheism, this notion of there's one personal God who has a plan for all of us, who seeks a relationship with all of us and has certain moral absolute standards of all of us, well, he was really on his own. It was him against the world, who were pagans and idol worshippers. And that's where the word Hebrew came from. He was known as the Ivri, the Hebrew, because it meant that he was separate from everyone else, that everyone else had very different views to him. And yet, 3,000 years later, the majority of the world worships the God of Abraham. So, if you'd have spoken to him then, you'd have said, Abraham, you're a madman. No one believes what you believe. Well, guess what? The truth is not always democratic. If you can figure out what the truth is and know it, I implore all of you, everyone, to say it. And by the way, far from thinking that, yeah, but we're just outnumbered, even if we say we're outnumbered, the truth has power in and of itself. If something is true, it will resonate. And the Jewish people have shown that you don't need to have strength in numbers in order to transform the world's values.
If you've made it so far in this video, I have a request for you. JTV has been having a really big impact in spreading the truth about Israel and creating positive associations with the Jewish people, Judaism, and Israel. We've really grown a lot, particularly in the last year, and we're having a really significant impact, both for Jews and non-Jews. But I really want to take JTV to the next level so we can start to compete with the other big online media beasts that are often peddling anti-Israel content. And the way we're going to do that is to scale even faster. So I'd love to build a team where we have other presenters doing shows like me. Let's start doing documentaries, supplementary content, animated content, etc., etc. And to do that, I'd like to build a bit of a team. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one fundraising day, just one, where we try and build up some funding in order to fund such a team. Now, to do that, it's going to obviously require people to get involved. And I'm wondering if you would consider, if you're watching JTV content and appreciate what we do and want to help partner with us in taking this to the next level and spreading the truth farther and wider than ever before, I wonder if you'd consider partnering with us simply by running a page, a mini page on the fundraiser that we do, where you just reach out to your contacts on that day that we choose to fundraise and see if they'll all chip in. If you'd be up for doing that, of which I would be so grateful, then please click on the Google form link in the video description of this video, where you can simply just put in a few contact details. It'll be a very small commitment, as I say, literally just one day that we'll all agree upon as a collective community. But the impact is going to be so big. There's such strength in numbers. If we all pull together and do this, we can take this to the next level. And as I say, all of us can partner together in bringing and spreading the truth to the whole world. So please do consider clicking on that link, filling in the form, and I'll be in touch very soon to talk about the next steps. Small commitment, but a big impact.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.